Hey there, OctoClean Media family. This is Matt. Obviously, most of you know who I am, but I'll give you a little introduction. I've been, in the cleaning industry for about 30 years now, and today we're going to do a little bit of a different style of video for you. Feel free to leave any comments inside of here inside the actual video itself, and there's someone who will answer those questions. So today we're going to be talking about how to win cleaning contracts with effective proposals. So first question that I'm going to be asked and I will answer is this. What separates a proposal that wins commercial cleaning contracts from one that simply provides a price? A bit of a loaded question because, and I know we're going to get to it in some other questions, but what really separates one proposal that wins contracts from one that just gives you a number, well, it should be obvious, but it's really not, right? I mean, the main thing is that I see two sides of this. I see people who give way too little and just give them a proposal that says cleaning services with how many days and a price, right? Maybe a little list of things that you'll be doing on a daily basis. And you just send that out and there's no explanation about how you're going to do the work. And then I see on the other side of it, people who give someone a binder that's 25 pages long, and those people, no one's going to read that stuff. So that, of course, there's somewhere in between that. An effective proposal is going to describe what the services are, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, things that are going to be done. That is going to be building specific, right? Because that's the other thing I see too, is that people just don't create a building specific scope of work. They're creating some general scope and they send it out and they think that it applies to all, and it doesn't. So you have to have something that's going to be more specific. And again, in OctoClean Media, we have a whole list of service schedules that are based on industry type. So, and those are available as a member. The other thing that you have to have is during your meeting, and we'll talk about this in the next question, you've asked questions about what they were struggling with. And those are going to be their pain points. So in your proposal, avoid trying to just, spray and pray and give them every single thing that you do. You want to be as specific as you can be to how you're going to solve the pain you've identified. And that can be done through, simple explanation of how your quality control system works or what chemicals you're using. What equipment you're using, what your employee training program is. There's a whole bunch of things that you should be able to go through as a menu and say, I'm going to pull that because they brought that up. I'm going to pull this. I'm going to put that into the proposal, and not just simply go in and say, here's a price, here's a frequency, and that's that, right? So a good proposal is customized. It's not too general and it's not too minimal. That would be my quick answer, but there's so many coaching calls that I've done on this over, the last couple of years on OctoClean Media, which are all, again, available to any member that you can go through the archives and you can find all of that stuff. So what information, next question, should every cleaning contractor collect during a walkthrough to build a stronger and more accurate proposal? Square footage, right? And not just square footage, but what the flooring type is, restrooms, how many fixtures do you have? And look, there's lots of technology now that makes it easy for you to be able to collect this information. You can go simple, lasers, you can do wheels. Nowadays, it's actually kind of old school. You can use new apps that are going to, be able to map out an entire facility. And depending on what you're purchasing, it may cost, more or less to get more or less information and design of the area that you're walking. But technology can help you with that. You got to get the square footage. You got to get the type of square footage that it is. And you also really need to get on a walkthrough. Why am I here? Right? So the pain. And if there is no pain, there is no sale. Bottom line, I've heard so many people say to me, either on one-on-one coaching or in group coaching, well, yeah, I went in and I gave them a great price, but they still didn't go with me. That's because you didn't ask them why you were there in the first place. And in some cases, the reason you're there is to be a price comparison with a company they already love, that they've worked with for many, many years. What's the reason that we're going through all of this effort to do all of these things if all we're going to be is a comparable number? We want to make sure we have a good opportunity to land that deal, which is why I will always, always, always say, if there is no pain, there is no sale, right? So got to figure that out, get the square footages. So pain, budget, decision, right? Those are the things that we're really looking at. With promo code SUMMER26, you can save 20% on an annual membership to OctoClean Media. You'll gain access to live coaching calls, regularly updated courses, downloadable templates and guides, and a community of commercial cleaning professionals. Use promo code SUMMER26 at checkout and save 20% on your annual membership. This offer is available throughout July and August only. Visit OctoCleanMedia.com and start investing in the future of your business today. Next question is, why is pricing commercial cleaning by square footage alone a mistake, and what should companies use instead? Pricing a job by square footage, that's an ideal situation because it makes it easy for you to train somebody, give them a number, and say, this is what you would price for X job and Y job. It's a starting point, but is not the end all be all. You should be bidding jobs as a production rate, and then putting an hourly rate that includes your total cost with profit onto that. And so start with square footage, fine, but then put it next to what your production rates are and figure out what that number looks like. Usually they're within 25% of each other if you've done things right. But the other thing with square footage is that a smaller job does not represent a true number, period. Unless you're doing like anything that's from 0 to 5,000 square feet, it's 22 cents a square foot. Well, now we're just kind of, trying to figure out the math so that it makes sense there. Would have been easier to say, well, it's going to take me 2 hours to clean this facility twice a week. And that's how my numbers are going to work based on hours at an hourly rate. It's really, again, and the pricing side of this, the conversation is not going to be fully solved in this conversation, right? In this YouTube video, but that's why we have OctoClean Media and support, right? That's why we have coaching. That's why we have the opportunity for you to learn, because pricing is not just a science, right? It's also an art and understanding what's happening with that facility, knowing your production rates, pushing your production rates to be as efficient as possible. So it's not just one thing. And I know that everybody's on this YouTube video like, Matt, just give me the damn answer. Like, just tell me what it is, because I just want there to be a fix to what my problem is. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, that's not the way that business works. Every account is going to be different. I still struggle, from time to time bidding jobs effectively because they're just a little quirky or different. So you got to have some expertise and reps to be able to get to a good point in bidding jobs, consistently. Next question. How can cleaning companies personalize their proposals to build trust and stand out with from their competitors? I kind of said this a bit in the beginning, but you really need to focus on the pain, and then you need to have systems, documentation that's going to be pretty static, at least for you, that's going to solve those problems for that prospect. And not just simply send out some basic thing like, this is who we are, and these are all the great things that we do. Be wowed by my 50 pieces of paper. Nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. You've got to have what they want, which is a price and a scope of work. And you have to have what your solutions are to the pain that you extracted. So if you're not getting the pain because you're too wimpy to go out and ask the tough questions, you're never going to be effective. It doesn't matter how many times I tell somebody this is how you need to do it, and these are all the different things that you need to have in your proposal. If you are not going to ask the tough questions to get the right answer from that prospect, I could tell you to, have fireworks go off, when they open up the proposal. It's not going to make any difference. You got to ask what the pain questions are. Okay. What are you actually there for? Last question. What are some simple changes that contractors make to their proposal presentations and follow-up process that lead to more signed contracts? Well, I think the number one thing is you actually follow up. I think there's too many people who present a proposal to a prospect, and then they just hope and pray that they're going to end up calling them back because their proposal was so pretty, or their price was so great. Decisions are not made on paper, right? People make decisions on who they're going to work with emotionally, right? And then then they start working through the logic of like how prices make sense and so on. How do you get to know people in life? Well, you do that by being consistent in communication, in follow-up. Somebody's having trouble with, something personally. You're not going to just say, okay, I'm going to send you over a document that's going to help you to deal with your personal drama. You're going to actually have a conversation with them, and then you're going to check in with them the next day. Hey, how you feeling? Everything good? Did that work? I mean, how did that conversation go? Because you actually care about what's going on in that relationship. Follow-up is a personal approach through a strategic process, right? And that's not something that a lot of people do well. You just want to be able to transact with someone and say, here's what it is, say yes or no. People don't make decisions like that. This is recurring revenue. This is a relationship-based sale. So you got to follow up. You got to follow up like a human. You got to follow up like someone who wants to actually get to know someone and actually wants to work with someone. And I would say that's the number one thing that any of you who are watching this can make a change to today, and you'll see results without a doubt. So as always, OctoClean Media is the premier resource for all business owners. If you're watching this video and you're not a member, you're spending more money at Starbucks every month. Okay, I mean, seriously, and that's not helping you with anything other than your caffeine high. What you really need in your business is someone who's been there and understands it. And this is just a taste of what that really looks like when you get into OctoClean Media. Subscribe to stay up to date with the latest, and make sure to join us at octocleanmedia.com. We host weekly coaching calls and regularly update our guides, templates, and courses designed to help you improve your cleaning business. See you next time.